Hey guys, I'm Joel,
I'm Alex.
and we just saw World War Z.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, what did you think of World War Z?
What did I think of World War Z? I don't know really. I spent a good chunk of the runtime trying to figure out why this movie existed, and then of course I got my answer. It's based on apparently a novel that did very
it's a
well.
book.
I've never read it or anything like that, so yeah, I guess there was like some financial stock in it. This movie is very much, it's like a cut above the Roland Emmerich kind of disaster flicks in certain ways.
Yeah.
But all told, there's really not enough that's neat or clever about it to really, I don't know, justify its existence or really, I guess, to set it apart from any other type of disaster movie, except that it played certain elements straighter than you would expect and a little more toned down.
Yeah.
But for all of those aspects, there are quite a few missteps that you could list off that would kind of negate that. So, yeah. How about you? What did you think?
I liked parts of it. I didn't really. I really didn't think it was terrible. Like it's not bad. It's not awful. I don't know. It kept moving along. I thought it was decent. I didn't hate it. I'm not. You know. I don't feel like I wasted 2 hours.
Because when the trailers came out, if we can talk about that, the trailers were so funny for this movie. For so many reasons, like other people had said things like Brad Pitt's performance as it came through in the trailers was like really laughable and sleepwalky. The zombie effects in the trailers, oh my gosh, the CGI flying like ragdoll, just I don't like all those sort of swarms of zombies done in CGI were so funny and so fake looking.
Yeah.
I couldn't even. I was like stifling laughter in the theater looking at those trailers.
Yeah, it's almost like the hordes of zombies were like humans in liquid form.
Yeah,
because they're just like and they're just like well, it starts actually with the opening title sequence. Which was pretty cool. Actually, that was kind of interesting. It drew you in. Well, it shows all this like news footage and whatnot, and then kind of building up to the zombies.
Yeah, you see very few movies these days with an opening title sequence, but yeah, this movie had one, so that was kind of neat.
Yeah. And then Brad Pitt and his family, they go into Philadelphia and the zombies attack. Which is really funny because I commute into Philly all the time. And so I'm like, hey, I take that bridge all the time. I was like the Patco must be just a dump right now. And apparently Brad Pitt is important in like the government or something.
He's a UN sort of damage assessment guy.
Society. Brad Pitt has to go and help them find the source of the whatever.
Their source of the outbreak.
Zombie plague, yeah.
With the intent of trying to find a cure or some way to prevent the zombies from spreading anymore. So yeah, basically the whole movie's kind of an investigation like that. I can't say one way or the other if it had anything to do with the book. Do you know what the book was about?
No.
Okay. Because like when I heard about the book, it sounded almost like some sort of very dry history of what would happen if the world was taken over by zombies.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
And this like takes place inside. I have no idea.
Who?
But I guess the first problem right out of the gate is the camera work in this movie.
Oh gosh. Okay. Number one problem. If I didn't have any other problems with this movie, it would just be that.
The camera work and the way that it's all edited together is atrocious.
I was in the theater. I was thinking, I feel so bad for whoever had to edit this movie, or whoever, like however many people, because
I guess like Yeah, I'm sure there was a team, but yeah, this movie we were near the front, so that didn't really help. But this movie is so full of shaky cam shots. There will be like whole shots which lasts for about a second or two, where there's nothing but motion blur and out of focus stuff.
Nothing but blur. You get like snippets of things happening, so you can grasp what's going on, but you're just kind of disconnected.
You can only grasp like the action that they want you to follow. You have no context for anything. And I guess you could argue that this was intentional to make you feel like you're in the situation, which is confusing. No. See, here, the human eye works differently than that, okay? Shaky cam does not equal sort of a subjective perspective. The human eye, in conjunction with the way that we move as human beings, I'm just going to say this, it's much more steady than that, you know? It's like, because when you see shaky cam footage...
That's why they invented the steady cam.
Yeah, you know, the steady cam is a far more accurate representation of, like, a human being walking, because the eye, you know, the eye moves back and forth to adjust to you walking, you fix on a specific point. And, I mean, that is, from a human perspective, what seeing is like. So when I see the stuff like that, all I can think of is guy with a camera who doesn't know what they're doing. And if you want to involve us in the situation, that's not really the way to do it. And it really sort of cut down on a lot of atmosphere, too.
Yeah, because they did achieve in some scenes like some decent suspense. I mean, there weren't really like jump scares or anything like that. Per se, like
when not to annoying levels anyway.
No, I don't even really remember that many or much, but yeah, they had that. But then, like as soon as I would just dread the action scenes that would come because then it would just go right back into absolute absolute seizure cam.
Right,
You know, otherwise, like you know, aerial shots were really smooth and stuff. And I was kind of like.
I was like waiting for the aerial shots.
Yeah, I was like, okay, just get back. Oh, okay. Okay, now we're back in there. Okay.
I will say that all of the terrible zombie shots were in the trailer. For the most part, there are a couple more sequences, but really a lot of the zombie sequences in the movie don't look quite as bad as the ones in the trailer. In like the Philadelphia scene, there are quite a few bits and pieces. That was one thing that I did like, actually. The opening sequence that takes place in Philadelphia and sort of them moving around, there's like this confusion, because obviously if people start attacking other people, you're just going to see a whole bunch of people running and not really know what's happening. So they kind of revealed that it was a zombie outbreak in a pretty decent way.
Yeah.
The way it was shot, of course, took away from so much, but just like the kind of confusion of it and seeing people running and then like going in closer and seeing like people change into zombies and attacking.
The way they like, it's interesting because this film, I feel like some of it was like directed very peculiarly, and in other ways it was interesting, like the way Brad Pitt figures out like how long it takes for someone to get in, become a zombie after they've been bitten, is like this stuffed animal like thing on the ground. It's like counting to 11 or 12, and like as the zombie guy is like bitten.
Yeah.
So then once the zombie guy becomes a zombie, and it does that kind of cliche like camera zooming into eye or out or whatever thing, but once the guy becomes a zombie, then this like stuffed animal, I think it was an elephant or something, in overalls or something like that. It was like, oh, train's here.
The counting bear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Save the world or whatever. But.
Yeah, the train's here, and then like, oh, the zombie, la la. So then later on, Brad Pitt's just like, it's like counting, like he gets like he like shoots one of the zombies and some of his blood goes in his mouth. So he like, in front of his family, goes over to the edge of the building, is like ready to jump, and he's counting to 12 to see if he'll turn, and if he does, then he like would have jumped. But it was like, that was kind of, there were some moments like that which added some interesting qualities to the film.
Yeah, some of the. One other thing, there were a couple of other touches that I thought were kind of nice. Like, there's the scene with the looting, where everybody's looting, and then a police officer walks in, and instead of, like, sort of handling the situation, he just runs and starts grabbing stuff like just showing that everything is breaking down. That like there were a few touches like that I thought were kind of all right. Which were fun.
No, they made it. They made the one moment with the girl in the shopping cart, just like you wonder what happened. Okay, well, I wonder what happened. Like he's looking for his wife, who has like his two daughters, and like he hears one of them screaming, and she's just in a shopping cart, like going like this, just and just like boom, like just like hits it, and I'm just like, and like the mom's being attacked by two guys who like Brad Pitt like shoots one of them, and but it was just like before that, it was just like the shopping cart. It's like his little daughter's scary ride in the shopping. But yeah, that was just kind of, that was peculiar. There was some really nice, like really tense, like excluding the crappy cinematography for like camera movement. Some of the action scenes were pretty suspenseful or just engaging.
Yeah.
Like where he has to save the one soldier, the girl who her finger gets bitten. So Brad Pitt, like unflinching, like not even like batting an eyelash, just takes out a knife and just cuts her fingers off, and then like helps bandage that up and then saves her. But it's that was interesting. And then later on, like she helps out, and I thought the action scenes were pretty good.
Right. Conceptually, like there's the scene on the plane. I thought that was kind of intense.
Yeah, because it was
from the perspective of there's nowhere to run,
and like the plane crash lands, and then I love the audience's reaction more than anything else in the entire movie. They were reacting more with like more audible gasps to when Brad Pitt's like impaled with a bit of metal after the plane crash. Like it's a pretty decent makeup effect, or at least convincingly and it's like through the back. And I'm just saying they had a more audible reaction to that than the giant CGI piles of zombies.
Yeah, I will say that there were two things, I guess, sort of that I figured at the ending that I really enjoyed. First off, they don't have big national monuments being destroyed.
Yeah.
Secondly, it doesn't have a big dumb ending.
Big dumb ending.
Yeah,
describe what the big dumb ending is.
Well, there isn't one. Really.
A big dumb ending.
A big dumb ending. Just when a movie devolves into the biggest action sequence or some sort of
the biggest things, everything blowing up.
Yeah, or like it all converges to some huge, like a battle scene in a movie where it doesn't need to have one.
I was pleased. I was like, oh, okay. It was because everything like focused.
Yeah.
In the movie, it focused to like a smaller scale environment. They're in this medical facility. There's zombies walking around, and they have to like. It's very like. It's very tense, They have to be quiet because the zombies respond to sound and everything.
I enjoyed that aspect, that at least it's a very kind of small, concentrated ending with a specific goal, as it should be. Because we had already had earlier in the movie whole cities being wrecked by these hordes of CGI pixels, and then at the end to have... Yeah, and then at the end to have it just, be Brad Pitt and a couple of other people trying to get the vaccine or whatever in a small facility, with just like actors and makeup as the zombies. I liked that. I liked that it was just it was a small, suspenseful little scene.
The one scene in the movie that did have me laughing was when they're trying to leave South Korea and they're on bicycles. Like Brad Pitt and the one guy and this other guy are on bicycles because they don't have.
See, I like that. Like, zombie movies.
Well, no, I wasn't laughing at the bicycle part. But,
okay.
But they were going, and like the rest of the soldiers around them had like night vision goggles on, so they were like guiding them to the plane, and so Brad Pitt and his wife have this this special like military grade cell phone, and that they call each other with, and his wife calls him. Like, there's all these sleeping, like, dormant zombies around them. And his phone goes off because his wife calls him, and the zombies are just like, and then one of the soldiers goes, "Please silence all cell phones and pagers." And I'm like, okay, they totally know how silly that was. They threw that line in there. And then later on, after they get up in the plane and everything, like, he calls his wife, and his wife's like, "Yeah, I tried to call you." It's like, yeah, it was a bad job. That was funny.
That was kind of funny. I do like, though, that they have bicycles. Because you'd think that would be a huge advantage in a world with zombies in general. Because they're not gas-powered, you can probably outrun a zombie with one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't require too much energy to be expended, so... A zombie movie with bicycles. There we go, we finally got one.
Yeah.
But, speaking of zombies, we should probably talk about that.
Okay.
Zombies aren't interesting.
No, not anymore.
It's a craze that's been going on for quite a while. With, of course, The Walking Dead and Warm Bodies, the Twilight zombie romance movie.
Oh gosh, I just knew that we were gonna bring that into like a zombie love story.
Yeah, and all sorts of like internet whatever, and I don't care. But like the whole concept of a zombie is just not interesting. From the perspective of a monster movie, I mean, the only thing that's really that neat about zombies is the post-apocalyptic aspect. And you can do a post-apocalyptic movie about anything, really.
Yeah.
You don't need the zombies. I mean...
Hey, look at Day of the Triffids.
Yeah. I mean, or just look at Mad Max, or something like that. Which, you don't need zombies to have a post-apocalyptic movie, and that's really what's so neat about zombie movies is the post-apocalyptic aspect.
Yeah.
And, of course, I guess it's cheaper and less creative to do animated corpses than other things, usually. So, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the whole...
Yeah, I hope, like, cinematographers out there, producers, just listen, stop with the shaky cam. Like, just realize that it harms your movie more than anything else. Like, the era of its novelty is gone. That and zombies. I hope this movie puts the last nail in the coffin for shaky cam and zombies.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
That would be great. Because, yeah, seriously, I don't... And I guess going back to the shaky cam, it ruined several moments which could have been very atmospheric and eerie. Because, like, you think about it, the whole concept of the movie is... You have all these corpses walking around, whatever. You have... almost everybody is gone, and things like that, and there are just some shots or scenes, if you held on them for a long period of time in a steady way, and just sort of, especially in South Korea, they land at this base and it's raining, and it's just the plane sitting there on the tarmac,
that
and
was cool.
It's raining at night, there's no lights anywhere, and you just get the feeling that there are zombies out there. And if it just sort of held on certain shots, it would build up a really great eerie atmosphere.
Yeah.
But you've got the shaky cam, it's cutting every few seconds, probably because, I don't know, the cameraman just went nuts after that point or something.
The cameraman got bitten.
Okay.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, but so it really could have had a chance to build up the atmosphere if it wasn't for the frenetic camera work. And I think a couple of scenes really would have been quite effective and quite eerie and even memorable if it weren't for, again, the camera work and whatnot.
And then the world is kind of like not really saved completely, but it's like, there's that glimmer of hope at the end. So, it was...
I kind of like that, too.
That was a good... I thought the ending was decent. I was like... Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't just going to end, like, with them. Like, oh, we got this.
Yeah. Everybody's saved, and it's not like...
It is just beginning.
Yeah, it's just like every Roland Emmerich movie ever, which, basically does exactly what this movie did. It has a big dumb ending, and then at the end, this inexplicable global cataclysm is now no longer a problem. 2012, huge flood, oh, it's receding now, we're good. Or, just random things like that happening, like Independence Day, we blew up the aliens, or what was it, Day After Tomorrow? How did that movie end?
I don't think it just got warmer, I guess.
That's right, yeah. Oh, everything's warm now. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I would recommend this movie, it's go see it if, it's not, you don't want to see anything else.
It's a time killer, it's fine. Sit as far back from the screen as possible.
Yes,
learn from our mistake. Yeah, but otherwise, it's a decent time killer. I mean, there's nothing I wouldn't recommend, like, I don't know, buying it on home video or anything like it. But if you're going to see it in the theater, if you're going to rent it or something, fine. It's an alright disaster movie.
I gotta mention some the trailers. We saw like you didn't show up in the theater until after the Machete trailer.
Yeah.
But like there was a trailer from Machete Kills. I haven't seen the first Machete movie, and I don't know, something about the trailer was just really interesting.
Oh?
I don't know, just I don't know. I just kind of liked it, but they have like the different. Who was in it? Who was in the trailer? I don't know. I think it's like the first movie, or no, one of the first movies. I don't know. I could probably be wrong about it, but Lady Gaga's gonna be in this.
Oh.
I don't know much about Lady Gaga's music. I don't listen to the music, but I do appreciate the fact that she's a personality. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how David Bowie, was in movies and
right,
that.
Right.
And I don't know. I just appreciated that fact, because I don't know. There's some things I've heard about her that I kind of respect. Something. So I think it's kind of interesting they're doing that. And Machete, it's kind of funny because I was the other day we were talking about the how Machete is like the same character as Danny Trejo in Spy Kids.
Yeah,
he's Machete. He's the same Machete.
Yeah, his name is Machete in that as well.
And because he said like that's like he's in the Machete movies. That's what he does when he's not taking care of the kids.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
But I don't know if I'll see that movie. But it was just a cool trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So I guess final word. Go see it.
See it. Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
All right.
This is filmmaking.